Hello, welcome to another Centurion's Corner, and today we're reviewing Boba Fett. Only joking. I've got a parcel turning up from my lovely place of Aliexpress, all the way shipped over from China, and we've got a nice little box. And I'm hoping what's inside is what I think it is, and that's why we've got this Boba Fett archive series to stand guard. So, without further ado, let's have a look inside the box. Right, so it always comes in a nice little, it's quite a sturdy little box, you know, nice and sort of small, compact, but the actual cardboard's quite nice and thick. And then we get lots of bubble wrap. So, and that's all wrapped up, and inside we've got Clone Trooper Phase 1. So stay tuned for a custom to come out in the future, and just click on the link up above and it will show you a review of me opening quite a few of these guys. But the main reason for this was because when I did the Boba Fett review the other week, I kind of had this sort of inkling that I wanted to do the Return of the Jedi one. So here I have a bootleg Boba Fett and a bootleg prototype, and I thought I'll get these and I could actually make a video of an unboxing from Aliexpress, get rid of that, and also a lovely comparison between an archive series Boba and the bootlegs, just to see really what you get for your value for your money. You know, just in case you guys out there want to start customizing and buying these rather than going out spending 20 odd quid. So we can start off with the original Boba. And we go through the different accessories as well. Okay, so the episode didn't really go too much as planned. I was faffing a lot, just kind of comparing the character too much to the other Boba Fett too quickly. What I needed to do really was kind of come away from the camera and kind of have a bit of a play and just compare sort of sculpts really, because I'm not an expert as soon as I get out of the box, and that's why I do my reviews where I pull him out of the box and I want to go away and take some photos, because I can actually kind of see what the character's like. There's no point me sort of showing you off straight away I get out of the box and then realise the articulation is actually shocking. But yeah, so I've had a little play. I've done the review and gone over it, and kind of what I said in there I've kind of missed quite a lot. Straight away we can just tell together, I mean this is the official one in the middle, and then we got this little Boba here who's the bootleg, and then we got obviously the prototype, and he's the bootleg as well. We'll compare these two together and then we'll just do a one over on this one, but we'll compare like the guns, jetpack and everything as well. But straight away off the bat you can just tell that this character's a lot smaller than the original Boba Fett. He kind of looks like a teenager in a suit, like you could actually see it's like the transition of baby Boba Fett as a teenager, Boba Fett as a man. The sculpt just looks a lot smaller, and his helmet looks a bit fatter. We can see that his aerial's a little bit squished as well. It kind of, I don't know, because this one's white, that it stands out a lot better. That this one actually looks a lot sort of better sculpt together with this one rather than this one. But I think it's the white because it's just popping out a lot better. But you know, it's not saying that actually this bootleg's a bad figure. You know, I think it's definitely worth the price, and if you can never get hold of this figure, then it is a substitute. But it's not quite, you know, he's out there for £20 at the moment, so he's definitely kind of worth getting before it goes disappearing again. But anyway, we'll put the prototype to the side and we'll compare these two, and I'll do it like a normal standard review. We'll go over the accessories and then we'll go over the sculpt, and we'll just compare it together, and I'll show off his articulation as well. So we start off with the guns first, so just get these out of their hands. So off he goes. So this is the bootleg one, and then we got the standard. What you find with the bootleg, it's kind of made of a more sort of like hardery type plastic, and this one's kind of got that kind of sort of flexibility to it, and this one just hasn't really. It's kind of quite hard. But the actual paint apps and everything on there, actually I think is probably a little bit better than the actual official one. I think the official one's just got a little bit too much of that kind of sort of blodging on it. And it actually shows off a bit more detail on it where it's lightly done. I never realised actually that it had little hole rivets at the top here. But even the silver is painted very well. And then we just turn on the other side. And the only thing you can tell difference really is that it has a sort of like a mould injection in the handle. And yeah, like it's done, the gun's done well. That's a pass. And we can look at the little blasters as well. So again, what we notice on here is actually they have the mould injections on this as well. So the lower one is the bootleg. It's a bit glossy compared to the original, but even the original just looks really plasticky as well. You know, it's a bit of a poor sort of job really on that. But you can just tell here that we've got the injection mould. But the silver's done well. You know, just if you're just picking them back out of a box or something, you wouldn't even tell. But yeah, they're fine. And then we can go over the jetpacks as well. And in all, like straight off the bat, they're not too bad. You know, it's got all the sort of weathering and all that sort of parts on it, but there's a few finer details that they kind of miss out on there as well. So we'll just pop this one out the back. I've had to Dremel a hole in his back because when I was reviewing him earlier, this is like really quite soft. It's not soft, but it's just as you push it in, it just doesn't want to know, and it kind of bends in. So I kind of had to Dremel it out a little bit, but now it seems to be a bit loose. So I'm not quite really what's going on with it. The prototype one, it fits fine. It was a bit of a push to get it in there, but you know, it's in. But for some reason, just attaching that on, it just feels a bit loose. Maybe the hole needs to be a little bit more deeper, maybe. But I'll have a further play with that, just try and get it out before I suit him up. But let's just pull this one off. So bootlegs on the left. So as you can tell, it's a bit greener. Off camera, it's not as green as it shows up on camera. Like it really picks up a really dark green. But I kind of like that green compared to the official one. I just find it a bit wishy-washy. It just looks a bit, yeah, like there's no depth to the colour. It just looks a bit off the mould. You know, it just looks like a plastic mould of a jetpack, when this one's got that kind of sort of graininess to it. But obviously the paint applications on there is a lot better, so as you can tell on these kind of like nub bits, it's just not painted the way it should be. We've got the brown and we've got the other sort of parts on there, but as you can see on that kind of sort of horseshoe sort of shape, we've got a line, kind of bit of detailing on there, bits of speckles of the grey, and then you can tell that this one's a bit thicker compared to the original as well. And then just bring that back into focus. And then the rockets, they're both a little bit bent anyway, but obviously this one's just come out of a box from China, so I'll give it its little dues. So yeah, the jetpack's not too bad. It's just a shame that the hull was a little bit kind of sort of not right for that, so I don't know what's going on with that. So they're the jetpacks, and then we'll just go over the sculpt and we go through like the helmet and whatnot, and then I'll go through its articulation. So just for the comparison site to it, the helmets, yeah, I mean it's fine. It's got like a weird sort of digital printing kind of sort of like effect that they've done for the sort of scuffs there on his helmet. We can compare like the yellow parts of there, and this is kind of made of a thicker sort of plastic than this one. Might need a hairdryer just to sort of bring it up into shape. the back of the helmet, but you can just tell that it's just slightly a bit smaller compared to the original. We've got all the yellow markings around on the side as well, and like how sort of vibrant this one is compared. And we've got the dent on the helmet as well, which isn't painted. It's just we've just got a dent. So that's that part. And then going down to his other sculpt parts, you know, I think the chest and all that is done alright, but you can just tell that this one's a lot thicker compared to this one. Also on the arms as well, if you just look at the shoulder bell, even though we've got the bantha skulls done nicely, it's not painted underneath, it's just kind of just layered on top. So all this part under here where it hinges up, that should be all yellow as well. So just comparing the original, so it's just that on there. And then we can compare their gauntlets and wrist rockets. So you can, I mean, I suppose if you just pick this one up, you wouldn't notice without comparing the both. But you know, it's a good little figure. If it's the only way you got Boba Fett, it's fine. But got those there, and we'll just check over on the other side. I find that this bit's really yellow as well, as if it's like a big blotch of yellow paint. But it's supposed to be just, you know, kind of like the colours, because it's the Wookiee braids, so it should be like an offish sort of brown. I'd always find this one here, this grey one's just a bit sticks out anyway, because it's the same colour as all this. So to me that should look like it should be painted as well, and they've done exactly the same on this side. But yeah, you know, sort of the gauntlets there, they look absolutely perfect and fine. To be honest, they look great. The only thing is on there, the silvering on that pipe is a little bit off, and obviously the paint as well around on this side. But you can just tell that everything's just a lot bigger on the original. And the hands are fine. And then I look at the back straps and down, and this is a telltale sign apparently, this bit here where the silver buckles have not been painted. And we go down to the boots, and actually I was quite impressed with the legs on this character, because it's got all this sort of weathering and all that on there, which looks great. It's just the legs look a little bit warped and a little bit sort of strange, and we've got this gappage up here as well. But I'm going to be customizing him anyway, so it's not too much of a pain. And I noticed that his ankles as well are a little bit swollen compared to the original, where it looks like his jumpsuit goes over his sort of Chelsea boots, when this one actually looks like more like it's part of it. So that's kind of it really with his sculpt, and it's sort of noticeable difference. Obviously you can see the greens are slightly different, but I mean the red in these LED sort of part there, we've got all the sort of paints and splotches are in the right areas. So, you know, it's quite a good sort of fodder figure really. And with that we go through his articulation as well, and you can look up and you can look down, you can look left and right. You can bring his arm up, and he's got a rotation. It's also got a rotation at the elbow and rotation at the wrist, and he's on a hinge. The elbow comes up to a 90, and then he's got a rotation, and he's got a slightly bit of a crunch on the ball there, and his legs can come out this far, not that much though, because obviously he's got the holster sticking out. He's got a rotation there, and he's got a nice sort of double jointed knee. It actually feels really nice as well. It doesn't feel loose, it's got enough clickage in there that it just feels really good. And then we've got the rocker and a pivot on his foot. So he's got the articulation there, and everything's fine. The only thing that is slightly a bit different is that these have the different sort of joints inside their groin. So where we've got this sort of hinge here, it's fine going outwards, but if you want it to go forwards, you need to rotate it around that bit inside, so that hinge comes to the front, and then they'll be able to kick up forwards. But because he's got these anyway, there's no point really turning it around, as these are solid So that's the bobber, and then what we do, we just go over the white one as well and just stand him up next to it. Don't know why we always like to stand up, but yeah, I mean, this one, it's pretty cool actually. I never always thought it's not going to be that great, but I think it's a white bobber, it does need more paint apps. It needs to look like the prototype, or at least give you the other helmet where it's got the sort of thin sort of helmet here, and it's got like this sort of weird breathing part. But I know that there was a prototype one where the guy was wearing it before, but to me, the prototype one just looks a bit better where it was the drawing rather than the real one. But yeah, I mean, the articulation's all there. The only thing I did notice on my one, but I don't know whether it's a thing for all these sort of white ones, is that he has a really good sort of like movement at the waist compared to the other bobbers, and it's 10 times better than the official one as well. I mean, I'm pretty happy with these guys. I think they're pretty fine and dandy. So guys and girls, that's the end of my AliExpress little package from China with my bootleg figures, and soon hopefully these return into new customs down the line. And I'd like to thank you all. You can follow me on Instagram, the link is in the description. You can comment below, you can subscribe, and you can ding the bell if you like. And until next time, bye.